There are many threats to civil aviation, including unruly passengers, unlawful economic migrants and asylum seekers using false documents, criminals, and of course the greatest threat, terrorists. All persons employed in the airport, from a shop assistant to a manager, have a moral and legal role to play in ensuring the security of the airport. These responsibilities are incorporated in the Hong Kong International Airport Airport Security Program. A major threat to civil aviation is from terrorism. Terrorists have continually attacked civil aviation. These attacks have included hijackings of aircraft. The most famous examples being the simultaneous hijackings of 4 aircraft used for the attacks on the World Trade Center buildings in New York and the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. on the 11th of September 2001. The first recorded hijacking of a commercial aircraft was on a flight from Hong Kong to Macau. A Catalina flying boat called Miss Macau was hijacked on the 17th of July 1948. The plane crashed after the captain was shot by the hijackers. Terrorists are also responsible for the bombing of aircraft and airports. One recent example is the bombing of Metrojet Flight 9268 from Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt to St. Petersburg in Russia on the 31st of October 2015. The bomb exploded at cruising altitude of approximately 30,000 feet, killing all 224 persons on board. Another recent example is the bombing of Brussels Zaventem Airport on the 22nd of March 2016, where 23 people were killed and 81 injured. These are recent incidents in the continuous attacks by terrorists on aviation since the 1940s. On the 15th of June 1972, a Hong Kong aircraft was also targeted. Flight CX-700Z flying from Bangkok to Hong Kong was blown out of the sky over Vietnam, and all 81 on board were killed. This was not a terrorist attack, but a criminal one. It was suspected that the perpetrator set the bomb to kill his wife and child who were on the plane so he could claim the life insurance he had taken out on them. Terrorist groups operating throughout the world may have different motivations, varying from political to religious reasons. But their goals are the same, to instill fear in people by death and destruction. Many are allied to each other, sharing information and resources. Some may well be known to us, such as Al-Qaeda, which was responsible for the attacks on the USA in 2001. They operate in the Middle East and throughout the world, including Asia. ISIS, also known as ISIL, started in Iraq, but has spread across the world. They've claimed responsibility for attacks in Europe, Australia and Asia. One of their recent attacks was in Jakarta, Indonesia on the 14th of January 2016. Other significant terrorist groups currently active are Boko Haram, West Africa, Al-Shabaab, East Africa, Abu Sayyaf, Philippines, Malaysia and Borneo, Jemaah Islamiyah, Indonesia and Malaysia. The East Turkestan Independence or Islamic Movement, ETIM, based in Xinjiang Province, China, has been behind numerous attacks in China. Their preferred method is by stabbing large numbers of people at transport hubs, such as railway stations. They have also been involved in hijackings in China, notably the attempted hijack of Tianjin Airlines flight GS7554 from Hotian to Urumqi, Xinjiang on the 29th of June 2012. The ETIM was also behind the bombing of the Erawan Shrine in Bangkok, Thailand on the 17th of August 2015. Criminals are also a threat to civil aviation, as they can cause death and destruction. There are many criminals operating on aircraft and in airports on a regular basis. Theft is common in-flight and on the ground, including pickpocketing, shoplifting, baggage theft and cargo theft. Crimes range from indecent assault, disorderly conduct, and possession of offensive weapons. We must all be vigilant. Asylum seekers and economic migrants using false documents are a threat to civil aviation. Many hijackings in the past have involved this class of persons, especially those escaping war zones. An example of this is the hijacking of Ariana Afghan Airlines internal flight by 9 men on the 6th of February 2000. The hijackers wanted to fly to London. They landed at Tashkent, Aktobe and Moscow en route to London. The hijacking was resolved on the 10th of February 2000. Asylum seekers and economic migrants may also use false documentation or switch documents to travel to their preferred destinations. Once they get on a flight, they may destroy their documents prior to arrival so that they cannot be identified. Unruly passengers are one of the most common threats to aviation. Whatever the cause of the person's misbehaviour, be it alcohol, drugs, frustration or other reasons, this class of passengers should be stopped from boarding an aircraft when possible, because their behaviour in flight can have even more serious consequences to an aircraft's safety. Mentally ill persons can also be a threat. In the year 2000, a mentally ill stateless man managed to force his way through security with a fake pistol and take a hostage on board a plane. This incident was resolved peacefully. It is important that all staff play their part in ensuring that the airport remains a secure and safe environment. If you see anything suspicious, report it. Report suspicious activities. Suspicious behaviour. If you encounter any suspicious persons or activities, don't hesitate. Report to the IAC or police immediately. Abandoned vehicle. Suspicious behaviour. If you see anyone acting suspiciously or loitering around any part of the airport, report your observations immediately. Fraudulent passports. Fraudulent passports and identification documents are used by terrorists, criminals and unlawful asylum seekers and economic migrants. If you have any suspicions that a document may be fraudulent, contact the police immediately. Boarding passes and transit advices to be controlled. Boarding passes and transit advices must not be left unattended to prevent theft and misuse. People changing their appearance. If you see people trying to change their appearance, especially airside after passing through immigration, you should report immediately. This method has been used previously by terrorists, criminals and asylum seekers trying to avoid detection by using other persons' travel documents. An extreme example occurred in Hong Kong in 2010. A young Chinese asylum seeker took on the identity of a 50-year-old white American but made himself look more like 70 years old. Exchanging passports. Exchanging passports and travel documents with similar-looking persons airside is another method used by persons trying to illegally enter countries. Authorised restricted articles to be controlled. Missing authorized restricted article. Authorized restricted articles must be properly controlled in the airport restricted area. Unattended authorized restricted article. A lot of maintenance work is undertaken at the airport on a daily basis. If you see any unattended authorized restricted articles, make sure you bring them to the attention of the responsible person or report to the IAC. Report unattended baggage. If you found an unattended bag at the airport, please report it to the IAC at once. Abandoned baggage. If you see people discard or abandon their baggage, especially before a security control point, be suspicious. Report your observations to the security control point or call the IAC. If you see anything suspicious, report to the airport security at the Integrated Airport Centre or to the police at the following telephone numbers. Security awareness is everyone's responsibility. Let's make Hong Kong International Airport a safe place for all, staff and the travelling public. Thank you for watching.